Before this video starts, I would just like to say I apologize for not making any videos, but during that I've made part 3 of Let's Talk About Resident Evil, so be expecting that video coming out next week. And I hope you guys enjoy this video. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace out. Bye. So in my last video, I talked about Let's Talk About Resident Evil. And in that video, I talked about my first Resident Evil game that I played and other games that I enjoyed. So in today's video, I will talk about my favorite Resident Evil game of all time. I'm joined by special guests, Golden Playhouse and Demicrow. So I'm gonna start by them, and then I'm gonna do mine last. So I'm gonna give it up to Golden Playhouse for his video, and let's get to it.
What's up, guys? Golden Playhouse here, and yeah, Matthew invited me on here to talking about what my favorite Resident Evil game is, and my first Resident Evil game I played. The first one I played was back in 2019. So I was bored one night, got so bored, and this was before I got into Atlas and all this stuff. So I was like so bored of my mind of games like Crash Bandicoot I was playing. I wanted to play something like a game that I've not played before, but that was not that much horror, but was kind of horror. And I found the perfect game series called Resident Evil. So yeah, now if you might ask, well, now look, this is the gameplay of the OG Resident Evil, but you know why I did not play the OG one? Well,
Wow, what a mansion!
But my first Resident Evil game was Resident Evil 2 Remake. Now look, I really was not that much into horror games and all that stuff. But when I played this game, I really loved the horror. In fact, it's thanks to this game how I got into other horror, into like other kind of horror, but like into other kind of horror like things. And my favorite, and why I like the Resident Evil 2 Remake is the graphics. Plus, I really love the characters, the story, and plus, my favorite part was how, you know how in other games they make it so easy that you can just go and through the entire game and not go to get chased? Well, Resident Evil, I liked about Resident Evil 2 is how if you mess up, so throughout the entire game, you have this big giant zombie that's called something that's Mr. X, that's what I think. And he goes and chases you all throughout the game to the very end of the game where you finally kill Mr. X. It will take a long time a bit to get away from him, and plus each time he will pop out of nowhere. So you'll be freaking scared and start freaking running. But I mean, I'm not that scared of him more than hearing this song. I really love how it's the police that we get like members of like each like game, and I like how Resident Evil 2 can also, if you go back to like, for example, Revelations 2 and go back to Resident Evil 2, it will make all sense of how both Leon and Claire met. It makes all sense. Plus, so if you all want to know also what I will be honest here. Next I played was Resident Evil 1. And that's how I really fell in love with the series also. The remake, not this version. But I will say this though. Play as freaking Jill, okay? Do not play as Chris. Play as Jill, okay? End of the discussion. Just play as Jill. This is just Jill's mission. Chris is only there, and the only reason why you should play as him is just for Rebecca Chains. There you go. Anyways, for my favorite Resident Evil game is Code Veronica for the story, the characters, and I really love the villains. I really love the story. This has to be my favorite story in the entire series. And my favorite character is Steve. And I just like how this story has Chris and even other characters from Resident Evil 1. I really like the story of how we see Chris has a sister that looking for her lost brother, which Chris, and I just really love how the story is taking place. I just really like it. I really love Steve, and I really like the villains, and I really like this game has the most saddest moments, and I recommend for any Resident Evil fan to play Code Veronica. And if you have not played it, go play it. You will have a great time playing this game. And also, if you have a PS4, you can play this game. If you have a PS3, you can play this game. If you have a PS2, you can play this game. If you have a Dreamcast, you can play this game. There's many. If you have a PC like Steam, you can play this game. It is pretty. You can pretty much get this game anywhere, besides the Switch. I think you can probably get it on Switch. I think it's on Switch. So yeah, you can also even play it on Switch. So yeah, I don't know if it's on Switch, but if it is, then good. You can play it on there also. But yeah. So I'm just gonna give this back to Matthew, and also thank you, Matthew, for inviting me onto this video that you've been doing, and I'm glad that I got to be a part of this. And until then, see you, Matthew.
And thank you, Golden, for being in that video. I really appreciate you joining in, talking about your favorite and your first Resident Evil game. So next up, I got Demicrow, and I'm going to pass it on to him.
Now, my first Resident Evil game that I played personally to completion was Resident Evil 7. But then, after a year, I started wanting to get into more Resident Evil, so I played 4. And I haven't touched Resident Evil since because I've been so caught up with SMT and Persona. So basically, when Resident Evil 8 comes out, hopefully I'll be able to pick it up on release day, and I'll have a vital platform to play it on because my PS4 is broken. But Resident Evil 7 was the first time I ever got interested in the series. But I was close to buying Resident Evil Revelations 2 for the 3DS, but the Switch was just coming out, so I just waited. So yeah, Resident Evil 7 was my first time I got into the series, and I also played Resident Evil 4, which I prefer Resident Evil 4, but yeah, that's how I got into Resident Evil. Also, I want to say thank you to Matthew Hunter for letting me be featured in this video. So everyone who's watching this part of the video, have a good day.
Once again, I would like to thank Demicrow and Golden Playhouse for being in this video. And it's time for me to talk about my favorite Resident Evil game. So my favorite Resident Evil game that I played was called Resident Evil Revelations. As you guys know, if you saw the thumbnail or recognized the title or stuff, you probably saw the logo and stuff. So I hope you guys enjoy what my opinion on this game. So let's get right into it. So during playing Resident Evil Revelations, I really thought it was really setting a different tone for Resident Evil, and I thought it was bringing it back to its roots as a spin-off. While playing Resident Evil, I really enjoyed the game based on how it was. Basically, Resident Evil Revelations was inspired by some soap operas, because every time you played the game, it will always give you like a previously or something like that, which I really like because I'm a big person that likes television and movies and stuff like that. To be honest with you, another reason why I like Resident Evil Revelation is just because it's based in underwater, and basically I can't even lie. Some people have a fear of being underwater for too long, and I could say I have the same problem because I don't like being underwater all the time, and it's really scary because you don't know what the hell is down there. Another reason I like Resident Evil Revelation is its combat. Basically, the combat in the game is pretty basic. You got your R1, your L1, shoot, and it feels more like a recent Resident Evil game when you play it. Because I think on the PS4, I played the PS3 version, but when you play the PS4 version, I'm pretty sure you used the triggers that time. So it makes it feel recent, and I say the controls are easier to learn, because if you play any other shooters, you get used to Resident Evil Revelations. So if you guys want a first Resident Evil game, I recommend you start with Resident Evil Revelations. It will give you a good start on Resident Evil 5 and explore more of the story before Resident Evil 5 and how like the BSAA was founded. So okay guys, this will be the end of my video. I really appreciate Golden Playhouse and Demicrow being in this video, and I'm glad that they were on here. And I would like to thank you guys for watching this video. I really appreciate every single one of you all on this series. So once again, I'll talk to you guys later. Peace out. Love you all. Bye.